Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, Megyn Kelly, like every other MAGA moron, is blaming Donald Trump's attorney general for Trump's decision to drop the Epstein investigation, the investigation into the most prolific pedophile on the planet. And they're trying to pretend like nothing happened. And she's falling for this BS. Some of Trump's base, though, they are not having it. And I have tweets to share with you that are showing they are ditching him. They are done. This is a bridge too far. So, this is kind of like an FAFO Epstein edition, but I have other information to share with you as well. And they should not, meaning Trump supporters, they should not believe this bullshit because Bondi and Trump's excuses are the most asinine, pathetic nonsense I have ever heard. Seriously, guys, like, I mean, I get there's not much that they can say, right? There's not really an explanation that would suffice for this blatant cover up, but they don't even seem to be trying very hard. They are just throwing the most nonsensical things out there. So, for instance, Pam Bondi actually tried to say that all of the videos that have been talked about ad nauseum in court documents, in news reports, in FBI reports, and in victim statements were nothing more than random child abuse videos that Epstein downloaded. I'm serious. They're trying to say, "Oh, yeah, no, this was just stuff he downloaded." Even though we know for a fact it is in FBI reports that he had video cameras all over his properties. And the FBI said, "We collected thousands of videos. There were thousands of videos that we found inside of a safe on his property in Florida." They're also trying to push this seemingly implausible story that Epstein took his own life. His brother, though, his brother Mark, was on News Nation last night, and he talked about the difference between what Trump's administration is saying and what the autopsy revealed. Mark Epstein said, quote, "Contrast that to Dr. Roman, who was a city pathologist who did the autopsy. She came out of the autopsy and said she couldn't call it suicide because it looked too much like a homicide. Dr. Michael Baden, who was there on my behalf, who witnessed the autopsy, also concurred that it looked more like a homicide than a suicide." Two medical people, two medical examiners saying this looked more like a suicide. It was also reported just this morning that Trump was considering a pardon for Epstein's convicted co conspirator, his longtime girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell. Michael Wolff, who you guys may have heard of, he is a Trump biographer. He's written multiple books about Trump. He has hours and hours of audio recordings of himself and Epstein. He had conversations with Epstein. They discussed Donald Trump at length. Epstein told him, "Oh yeah, he was basically we were like best friends for 10 years." And then this Wolf, he has also interviewed a lot of Trump allies. And according to Wolf, when the Ghislaine Maxwell case was headed to trial, when it was very clear that like this isn't going to be dropped, there isn't going to be a plea deal, she's going to go to trial. This was during Trump's first term. He considered granting her a pardon to keep her quiet about his involvement with Epstein. Wolf said, though, that Trump's inner circle was freaking out and they were warning him against it. And they were saying, "Oh, this is going to come back to bite you." And Wolf told the Washington Post, quote, "Everybody around him was kind of like, God, we hope she won't say anything, but we really hope he doesn't pardon her." And you might recall when Donald Trump was asked about Ghislaine Maxwell years ago when she was going to trial, he was like, "Oh, yeah, I wish her well." You wish her well? A convicted child predator. There is only one thing that I wish for child predators, and it is the exact opposite of well. So, anyway, MAGA influencers, they can't seem to wrap their little pea brains around the fact that the call is coming from the inside of the house, right? It's coming from inside the house. Some of his base is getting it though. They are done with him. But it seems that MAGA media is making excuses left and right. So more on that in a second. But please do me a huge favor before I get into any more of this. Hit the subscribe button below this video. It is free for you. Helps the show tremendously. So here's the deal. Megyn Kelly actually said on her show that Pam Bondi's days are numbered. Kelly acts as if Bondi is just gone rogue. She's acting completely on her own just to cover up Epstein's crimes and for his for his accomplices, for whomever it is they think she's covering for, but not Donald Trump. No, I know, can't be. Democrats would have said something. Yeah, Democrats would have said something if they aren't also implicated. If some of them, not saying all, but we do know this crossed party lines, right? And I don't know if Kelly is really stupid enough to believe what she said, or if she, just like every other MAGA influencer, is just trying not to piss off Trump and, trying to redirect the base's ire away from him. So either way, she's a fool. But here's the thing. Pam Bondi is at risk of getting axed because of this. Because Donald Trump needs a fall guy or a fall gal to take the heat off of him. But even if he got rid of her, then he's going to be in a bind, because not only does he need another equally amoral, power hungry liar to fill her spot, but let's say he finds someone, right? I mean, there's plenty in MAGA. We know that. So let's say he puts somebody else in as AG. He then has to explain, number one, why he was too weak to control his own attorney general. Right? Well, why couldn't you control Pam Bondi? Like, who is she compared to Donald Trump? Why did she go rogue? How did you allow this? The bully in chief, who his base thinks that he can rule the world and conquer anyone, right? And then what happens then? Do we start this whole charade all over again with a new attorney general? I mean, no one is ever going to release the Epstein documents because Trump doesn't want them to be released. So, how is he going to explain why then the next attorney general doesn't release these documents and why nobody's getting arrested? Right? I mean, does he throw Bondi further under the Trump train? Does he say, oh, well, she destroyed everything? And then they're going to go, okay, well, arrest her. Right? So you see, I mean, he is just really in a pickle here. He has a bit of a sticky wicket. But that's his only move, is to throw Pam Bondi further under the Trump train. I don't think, though, this betrayal is going to blow over like so many of the others have. And here's why. MAGA believes that those Epstein files and those videos are filled with only Democrats. They believe 100% Bill and Hillary Clinton are in there. They believe that everyone that they hate, Obama, so many other people, they're all in these videos. And honestly, I don't care. If they are, show them. If they are, arrest them. Because unlike MAGA, unlike the majority of MAGA, I actually do care about child predators. I do care about what is being done to children and the trafficking of children. I don't care who it is, left, right, or center. Throw them in prison for the rest of their lives or give them the death penalty. I don't care. So they're having a hard time trying to square this because in their minds, like, oh my God, now they're getting a pass. Pam Bondi is giving Bill and Hillary Clinton a pass in their minds, right? They could be, I don't know. Plus, Trump hasn't done anything else for them. He hasn't reduced inflation, hasn't reduced prices. In fact, he is increasing prices with his tariffs. He hasn't reduced housing prices because presidents can't do that. other than destroying the economy, which he's on his way. He hasn't reduced interest rates, right? His administration isn't reducing interest rates because of the tariffs again, isn't reducing the cost of groceries. He bombed Iran. He's supposedly the peace president, but he bombed Iran, hasn't ended the war in Ukraine, hasn't ended the genocide in Gaza. He didn't get rid of income tax like he was talking about. You know, his big butt ugly bill is a major giveaway to the wealthy. It's going to harm his base even more. So they have to be looking around going, what the hell? Like, which promise have you kept? And this is the final nail in the coffin. And some, not all, but some are starting to turn on Trump. So one voter, I'm going to show you these. One voter tagged Trump on Twitter and said, quote, Trump has to answer transparently about Epstein. It's that simple. I've supported Trump since I voted for him in 2016, been behind him 100% since 2016. This Epstein thing, though, is BS. I didn't accept the lies that were told about him during his impeachments, Russia collusion, all of that. And just like I didn't accept those lies, I don't accept these lies about Epstein. Do not call me stupid by lying to me. Whoops. And someone replied to that post. This person said, same. I've been a Trump supporter since day one. I am creeped out by his response to the questions and the apparent cover up of the Epstein list. Yes, we the people feel strongly about the Epstein list. I did not vote for a deeper swamp. So there's that one. And then a female Twitter user replied, I am 100%. I am so disgusted. I cannot believe people that we all trusted to do the right thing are going to cover for pedophiles. I cannot wrap my brain around the corruption. I am beyond disappointed in Trump, who I also have consistently supported. And Pam Bondi is a complete joke. So, yeah. There you go. Then there was another one. There was another woman who commented on Twitter. She didn't respond to these other ones, but she replied to a post. I think it was from Juanita Broderick, who you might recall, she had accused Bill Clinton of assault, and she is a Trump supporter. So this person responded to her and said, nope. I am out. Epstein did it for me. You can't protect pedophiles and also be for the American people. Trump got my vote 3 times, but if I had to vote again, it would be a no, a hard no. Whoops. So, yeah, there's that one. And then someone replied to her tweet and said, Trump kicking Elon Musk for exposing the Epstein cover up nailed it for me. Trump then tried to lie about Elon. Adios, Don. There was another guy named Roger. He responded, quote, yeah, I'm not forgiving this one. And not only is he protecting pedophiles and blackmailers, but he's disrespecting all of us like we're a bunch of morons by thinking we'll just go along with this blatantly obvious cover up. And then another person, let me see if I can bring this one up for you guys. Another person responded, or didn't respond to this guy, but wrote, quote, same here. He let pedophiles off the hook. What a slap in the face to all the victims of sexual abuse. And then a very obvious follower of Patrick Bet-David replied, quote, exact, same, done, fuck them all. Another person reposted the video of Donald Trump. I don't know if you guys saw this, but he completely lost it with a reporter when they asked him about the Epstein files. And this person said, quote, I'll not support Trump any longer. He's just insulted his base by minimizing the Epstein victims and shushing us. This is too much to overlook. Something big is happening, and it's dishonest at a bare minimum. And then a woman replied to that post, and she told this person, quote, "What he said disturbed me. Talk about flipping the switch right off for me, not to mention more to Ukraine. Come on." And then another woman replied, quote, "I'm mourning now. I'm mourning the loss of the future of our country. I had prayed and believed and stayed the course. This ruler across our knuckles for asking about Epstein, done," in all caps. "Disgusting behavior." These were just the tip of the iceberg, you guys. There were many, many more, which I will share with you in future FAFO videos. But what blows me away is how quickly some of his base is encouraging other people to move on. And they're telling him, oh, just, forget about Epstein. Do these people honestly think this all ended when Epstein died? They're acting so many of them are saying like, "Oh, let's move on. Okay, the guy's dead. It's over, blah blah blah." These are the same people who were like, "Oh, the children." These are the same people at the Capitol with their signs, "Save the children. This is all about the children. Arrest the pedophiles." But yet now that it's touching Trump, now that it's like, the ocean is inching towards him, it's touching his toes, nibbling at his toes. Now they're like, "Oh, you know what? We should just drop this. We should just forget about, who cares about the children?" This is still happening. This is still going on. They're still violating children. They're still destroying little girls' lives. If, as has been reported, this was a Mossad operation to gather blackmail material on world leaders and powerful people, powerful, wealthy people, to get them to do their bidding, why would it end with Epstein? Right? I mean, it makes no sense. They would not just stop doing it. I swear to God, some Trump voters are the most selfish and dense people that ever walked the earth. Like, think beyond today. Like, think beyond what you think you know about how governments work. I mean, they're the ones that are always saying, "Oh, everything's corrupt, the deep state." Well, why do you think the deep state does what it does? Why do you think our corrupt leaders do what they do? Why do you think that they pander to these other world leaders? Because they're either getting money from them, or they're being blackmailed by them, or they want something from them. Those are the only three reasons, really. So to think that this went to the grave with Epstein and nothing else is happening out there because Epstein is gone. Oh, we got rid of the monster. No, he was just one of the many, many monsters. And think about how sick this is. And I've mentioned this before. If this truly is something that the Mossad was doing, think about that. These are the people we're funding. We are not only funding a genocide right now on the Palestinian people, we are funding people who used a monster to destroy the life of children, also they would have leverage over other world leaders and powerful people. And they not only knew it was happening, they directed it according to reports. If this is true, I'm not saying there has been definitive proof yet, but this is what has been reported. And Donald Trump's own labor secretary in his first administration, Alex Acosta, he is the one who gave that sweetheart deal down in Florida to Epstein. They knew the depths, the sickness of what was going on. And they ended up only charging him with, I think it ended up being like 2 counts of prostitution, not child prostitution, not, or maybe it was, but not even like child trafficking for 1 or 2 people, which we know it was dozens and dozens, if not hundreds. And I'm talking children as young as 7 years old, according to reports. There was a report of someone bringing him 2 7-year-old girls as a gift, another world leader. We're talking elementary school students, second graders, first or second grade children. And if they knew or if they directed it, oh, and back to my point about Alex Acosta. So he gives Epstein this sweetheart deal that nobody can understand why he gave him this deal. And then Donald Trump puts Acosta in his cabinet in his first administration. And then Acosta had to resign, if you guys recall, because this came out. So they have known about this. And Alex Acosta, when he was asked about it, refused to answer. But there were reports that he told people that he was told by powerful forces, by world leaders, by governments to back off. Possibly, I think he may have even been told by our own CIA or FBI, back off. This guy, meaning Epstein, is working for intelligence agencies. That's the reporting that's out there. So, if that's the case, Epstein was not the only person working for intelligence agencies around the world and for our government. So, I mean, so many times it's so inexplicable. We go, why would they do this? Why would this leader or that leader or this president or that, whomever, why would they make this call? Why would they choose to do this? Screw over their constituents, choose to make this move with this country or this person or that person? What is this deference they have to this world leader? It's not all money. It's not all money and bribes. Sometimes it's just cold, hard blackmail. So, anyway, guys, that's it for today. I will let you know when or if I hear any more on all of this. But yeah, MAGA, at least some of them, they're ditching Trump, and this is a good thing. Every little bit helps. So again, I'll let you know if I hear any more. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.